Hey, it's Dwayne the Iron Giant. Beside me is upcoming a fighter, amateur fighter, Damian Cruz. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Let's just get right into it, man. I know that you have a fight, well, I'll say super fight for BJJ coming up April 25th. Scrap Super Fight 5.
Yes, sir.
Uh, let's talk about that and how you got into that in the first place.
Scrap was invented by a good friend of mine, Joseph Snyder, and he started this event a little over a year ago. It was something we talked about. A big thing with jujitsu is, especially in the local scene, you can't make a lot of money. It's a lot you invest into, but don't get much back. And so he was like, well, there's plenty of promotions, but there's not a lot of money. So what can I do to make a difference? And he created Scrap. He put it in Greenville, its first event. All four first events have been at Alliance Greenville. And man, I mean, he's made it a show. He's done some really cool things. And I've been lucky enough to be a part of every card one way or another. For the first scrap, I won submission of the night. Second scrap, I won scrap of the night. Third scrap, I was injured. I couldn't compete, but I was the interviewer. And for the fourth scrap, I competed in the 155 title bracket. And so he's doing a lot of really cool things with that promotion where he's trying to make it as big as he can for the North and South Carolina scene. And I mean, he's brought a lot of really good people on. And last scrap four, he had for the title bracket, winner got $2,000. Unfortunately, I did not win that one. But coming up for scrap five, I am in the 175 bracket, which is I'm underweight compared to most, but yeah, super excited.
That's definitely interesting, like to kind of like bring like the whole MMA feel of like the event style MMA, but bring it
Yeah,
to a sport that you don't see that usually.
yeah,
Like BJJ, you see that as just like tournaments inside of a big warehouse with
yep,
400 people on 20 mats. So,
yep.
do you think that it's like better for you like for transitioning in a place that you're used to competing in front of fans versus like a regular tournament?
Yeah, it definitely adds pressure, and especially at Alliance Greenville, it's a place I train, so I know a lot of people. It's close enough where I have a lot of family and friends where they come out to visit me, and it's a different kind of pressure because when you compete on that, when there's 5 to 10 mats at a time, the attention isn't solely on you, right? It's kind
Hmm.
of like maybe the people you care about are watching, maybe a random person is, but with that idea of a whole crowd, a whole live stream, whatever it might be watching you, it's a different kind of pressure. And I definitely feel like I do better. I feel like when all the eyes are on me. Don't ask me why, but something it switches as soon as those lights are on, and I think it's better. I think it really shows you can you handle it, right? Because
Hmm.
that I feel like that's such a big difference. Is there's people who perform in the gym and there's people who perform on the mats, and I think it really shows you can you perform when the going gets tough and when there's people cheering for you and against you. And yeah, I think it's personally better. I think it's more intimate, and that's what makes it cool for the fan base and yourself.
No, it's definitely a really cool idea, especially when you talk about transitioning. Anytime you want to transition from sport to sport, there's a lot of stuff that don't really translate.
Yep.
One of them for BJJ obviously is the environment. The
Yeah.
environment of BJJ when you transition to MMA, it's the first time you see nerves, uh, the crazy anxiety having the back room because it's you had this build up for a whole month, and now you're
Yeah.
there. You're there 6 hours early in the back, and you're waiting your turn. It's not something
Yeah.
that you usually have in BJJ.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that like that correlation there. Now you have the build up for
Yep.
BJJ, which I think is the perfect time for it, especially because look what UFC is doing, right? UFC
Yeah.
has UFC BJJ. It's its
Yep.
own thing now, and it's the same concept. It's an
Yep.
event.
Yep.
It's only one match at a time, and you're gonna watch it. So I think it's the right time for that. It's a really cool idea that you've seen this.
For sure.
Mm. Have you seen any of the UFC BJJ stuff? Are you
Yeah.
like looking
I
into that
watch
as
it.
well?
Yeah, I watch it all the time. I have a bunch of siblings that train as well, and so I mean, it's kind of like it's a family thing for us where it's like we see a card and we're like, all right, we're sitting down and we're watching this, and we'll try to start as early as we can, and we'll basically finish it all the way through. It's really a cool format.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's different time. Um, I wouldn't have called BJJ the sport that's like a rising sport. I never would have called it that.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
since it's super structured, and usually like Brazil, that's the thing. And so
Yeah.
now you're seeing like entertainment status out
Yep.
of a sport that usually doesn't have that factor.
Yep. Yeah, so it's super cool. I definitely think that the UFC BJJ, it's definitely adding eyes, right? Where it's kind of
Mhm.
like it's giving that format, especially the name UFC. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I mean, it's such a big name that it's like you're almost forced to be like, okay, so what is that? And that helps our sport grow that much more.
yeah, it definitely brings the eyes and the right people, and then like you get new fans, and then now they might strictly stay with the UFC BJJ and say like, oh, this is what I've been training. I could do this now. There's now money coming into it, and then like guys
Yep.
like yourself that are amateur looking for somewhere to climb. And let's say like because you just talked about making like an MMA debut, like off, and we could talk about that. But what if you don't like MMA? Because now you transition, right? You still love BJJ. Is
Yep.
there a high ceiling for you? Now there is, right?
Yep.
Now there's the UFC
Yeah, for
BJJ.
sure.
If you don't like MMA, that's a route that you could take.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so I like I said, it's awesome. Do you see less pressure now that like there is a bigger opportunity for like growth as a like going to professional as for just MMA? Like you had to like you haven't done it yet, so you don't even know if you like it.
hmm Um, it's I guess I could say that there's less pressure from the people around me.
Hmm.
I've had a couple of kickboxing smokers, and I mean, I've done well. And you know, I think the only pressure is myself because I hold myself up to such high standards that I really think the only pressure would come from me. It's not really like people are looking for something from me. I mean, people know I can perform and that I work hard and stuff. So it really comes down to like can I keep that, like millions of thoughts in my own head where it's like, can I still go do those things? But I feel like MMA is such a different thing. I mean, I talk about it all the time with people, but it's like in jujitsu, I could go compete basically every other weekend or once a month. You can't do that with MMA. It's so much more taxing on the body. Your ligaments don't want to do it as much. Your muscles are so fatigued lifting, training multiple times a day. They do it in jujitsu, but it's not as taxing on the body. So I definitely think that with that, it's like I'm an overtrainer if I have something coming up, and it's like, dude, just trying to keep it within wraps. That way, I'm not injuring myself before I even get the opportunity to get out there. I think is my biggest thing.
Is there any reason in particular that you believe like you're the person out overtraining? Is there something like I don't want to like doubt myself, so I'm doing multiple
Yeah,
workouts?
part of my mindset is like I refuse to be outworked. Like whether it's a training partner, whether I can see you training or not, it's like when I have a date, I 2, 3 times a day. I'll do the hard things. I'll do it when people are watching, when no one's watching. It's part of my mindset where it's like keep going, keep going, keep going. And sometimes I tell myself I'm fine. Like you can keep doing that. Like your leg doesn't hurt that much, but it is something that you have to put into consideration. You got to listen to your body because if you don't, right, it shuts down, and then you can't get there to even show up on the day you wanted to. But yeah, for me, it's I'm an overtrainer for sure. I hold myself to really high standards, thinking I can do bigger and better basically every day, and so it's definitely part of it.
Do you have like a normal recovery routine? Because obviously you're talking about a lot of damage on the body, the way that you look at training. So is there like a specific routine that you go through for like recovery?
I sauna basically 4 to 5 times a week. I make sure I do that. I'm in the sauna all the time, 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And then compression boots and stuff like that. Those things help a good lot. Red light therapy. And that's most of it. You know, my life's always around training and stuff like that. So I try to, do the things that I can around what I'm working with and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Like at least anything is better than nothing. Like
Yeah,
obviously, like when we talk about recovery, like the best you could do is full night's rest.
yep,
Napping is actually really good for athletic
yep.
ability. That people don't tend to do that because they're like, oh, I don't want to nap. I feel like I'm lazy. Like, dude, it's the exact opposite for athletes.
Oh,
You should have a little bit of a nap here and there.
for sure.
Um, but then like ice baths. Have you done any ice baths?
I have. I feel like they help. I just haven't taken the time to personally get something at my house to do it all the time. That's the only
Okay.
thing that's stopping me.
Yeah, just definitely like the convenience factor of it. Yeah, like dude, they actually have like the ice pods now. Those are actually much better now.
Yep.
What's
Yeah, yeah,
You ever
yeah.
seen those?
Yeah, I've seen what. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like they do the cool chill factor for you for the water, and just
Yep.
that's just what they wrap it at. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, like say you talk about impact on body recovery. Obviously it's important, so it's interesting they do something at least.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about this card coming up. Obviously, so we're about give or take a month and a week out.
Yep,
Is there a process that you do for build up to this fight? Because it is just BJJ. It's not a. Uh, I wouldn't say like it is a combat sport, but it's not on the aggressive side. So is
for
there
sure.
still build up for you on how you train for it, and then how does fight week look like?
So for me, my buildup is I train at least twice a day. I teach kids and stuff too, so I always put that in consideration. I'm in the gym already so much teaching that it's hard to sometimes train because people talk to me and being part of the gym and stuff like that.
Sure.
But twice a day, I mean, in the mornings, it's either lifting or some kind of cardio where it's pushing myself. It's not just like, oh, I'm just going for a run. It's assault bikes, it's pull-ups, it's all those things that try to fatigue your body as much, burn yourself out. And in the evenings is mostly my jujitsu training. And I train at 10th Planet Greenville out here, and we get a lot of good rounds where, it's a lot of live. So like our Tuesdays are different. We either have 10 round Tuesdays where it's just 10 straight rounds, 6 minutes each, 1 minute break in between, and you're just going, going, going. Some days are just dedicated to leg locks, escaping out of bad positions. And so, I train 5 days a week, twice a day, basically. And for me, it's like I for the first 3 weeks, it's like push myself. I give
Mhm.
myself about a week where still pushing myself, but it's a little more at a chill pace, and push myself the rest of the way. And when match week comes, depending if I'm cutting weight or not, right? I start worrying about, all right, where's my weight at? Am I in my range that I've been working towards? And it'll mostly just be, all right, light cardio, drilling, light moving. That way I'm getting the sweat moving, I'm still going. But once those final like weigh in day and the day before, it's almost nothing unless I gotta cut weight. Put the sauna suit on, hop in the sauna, and that's about it.
I'll say so. Like the difference between like obviously the sports in general, even just like boxing, MMA, whatever, kickboxing, camps are usually driven around an opponent.
Hmm.
Yes, you're doing workouts. Yes, you're escalating how you train, but you're no longer learning new information. You're
Yeah.
basically making a game plan specifically for the opponent in front of you. That's
Yep.
something you don't see in BJJ because of the tournament style.
Hmm.
But since it's a super fights and scrap, and it's more of like a fight for BJJ, are you given an opponent? Is your camp trained as building up for that specific person? And how does that
So
look like in a BJJ style?
yeah, so the thing about all my matches, every time I've had a match coming up, my first two scraps, I had a direct opponent, and it was the same guy twice, and he pulled out twice. And so
Okay.
I was getting ready for a style, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, we're not doing that anymore. So I had two last second opponent switches. And so my mindset towards jujitsu is if I can learn things about you, I will. but at the same time, jujitsu, so it's so much more that where right, you can't put a specific person in it sometimes where it's like I just I focus on me more than anything else. It's like
Okay.
can I work my game around your game? And if I do get put in a bad spot, do I know what to do out of that? So it's constantly working everything. It's yeah, there's times where you can build that game plan, but I'm a big believer not having too big of a game plan because I think that if you're trying to focus on something and it goes wrong, some people become emotional. And what does
Yeah.
emotion do? You can't concentrate anymore. You can't focus on your goal because you're like, this isn't working, this isn't working. And so
Yeah.
I go into most matches where I'm like, all right, I found out who I'm going against. They kind of do this. That's cool. I guess don't do that. All right, I'm gonna go have fun. And so, that's how I kind of take my style towards it.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. You when you talk about like giving game plans for fighters, everything, I coach as well. So uh you want them to be able to do something because you're trying to get them to succeed in a fight versus someone that you know their habits. Obviously, you study opponents, you know their habits.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. Uh, Something might happen in the fight or in obviously while you're rolling that they were better than you thought in that specific part, and now we are at a disadvantage.
Hmm.
But that's what coaches are for. Hey, scrap that. We're doing something else. This is what we're
Yep.
doing now. But I think that the training should still stay the same, and just trust on coaches. But you're absolutely right. The ability to adapt should be more than anything.
Yep.
Because obviously, let's say like in an MMA standpoint, oh, this guy has our opponent is not the best striker in the world, whatever. We could really get our striking down. But come
Yep.
fight day, he's a better striker than us.
Hmm.
We're gonna have to go to his world because right
Yep.
now we're not at the same level that we thought we were going to be at. So, is there like how does the adapting play into your training? How do you do so?
I like to put myself in bad spots. I think that's one of the best things you can do. And so like
That's
I'll go hard, and then I'll be like, okay, all right, I got myself in a good position. I'm gonna try this move. Okay, cool. And then you don't have to tell your partners. You know what I mean? Like, let it happen sometimes where I'm like, okay, we're transitioning. Oh, that was good. All right, let's see if I can get out of this. And so like I'll get put myself in an arm triangle. I'll let people get on my back. Can I continue to fight the hands? And so I feel like becoming adaptable is just having an open mindset. When you have like a one track mind where it's like I only want this thing, I only want this thing, you become predictable. And it's like
Mhm.
no one really. Some people are okay with being predictable because they're so good at it that they can stop it. But I believe that everyone, like anyone, can get good. Anyone's day can be their day, and it can either be their best day or their worst day. It doesn't matter. You don't know who's going to show up, and you got to
Yeah,
be prepared for both all the time. And so for me, it's just constantly being like, all right, when you're at your strongest, can I work out of these bad spots? Can I work out of these bad spots? Okay, we're out. You're tired. All right, now let me work.
that's awesome, and that's exactly it. Looking at putting yourself in a position to learn. You're
Hmm.
forcing yourself to learn.
Yep.
Seeing that they like to do this per se, and then have them have a training partner sink in the submission. And
Yep.
now, like you've done that for like 2 months, and you're like, dude, I really understand being better at losing per se. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure. No,
Yeah,
I know what you
yeah.
mean.
It's like, yeah, I'm learning how to be uncomfortable in a spot where I'm supposed to lose.
Yeah.
They got it here. The
Hmm.
fight's over in their minds, but we've been working it. We understand how to.
Exactly. And that too, it's such a big mindset thing where it's like you crush people if you can't finish a move. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it is
100%.
morally like what? Like I couldn't do that. And then you just kind of like take your time where you're like, yeah, you couldn't. All right, let's go now. Like it and I feel like that's such a big thing is like that mindset. It's people something people talk about all the time, but I don't think enough people actually put into consideration how big it is. You know what I mean? Like,
It, that.
yeah, people say it all the time, but it's like, all right, now prove it. Like, can you keep going when the going gets tough? Like,
Mhm.
and some people really can't. And yeah, it's something I like to test people with. I'm like, let's see if your mind is stronger than mine, because I guarantee it's probably not.
Put that on a tagline right there, man. That was fire.
Appreciate
No, but
that.
yeah, it definitely just comes down to the ability to adapt. Like you're saying, you're not necessarily worried about game plans because what if they don't work? And
Yeah,
then you're too much thought in the moment. And it's true. Like I even had fights like that where game plan was really brought out perfectly, and then obviously for some reason it just didn't show in the fight. Like they
yeah,
were ready for it, and it's just like, oh, in my head at the moment is not the best time, right? To
yep,
be like, oh man, I don't think it's gonna go well because this happened, and it's like, no, dude, just either
yeah,
floor it. Then now I say this now, like with more experience, either floor it if
yep,
they got the game plan down, do it more aggressively.
yeah,
That actually could be a good thing on your aspect because now like
yeah,
they expect it, but they're like, oh, you double down.
yeah,
Uh, Wrestling, you miss a shot, shoot two, three, four
yeah,
in a row.
for
You're
sure.
going to get the takedown. That's being more aggressive,
Yeah,
or finding like abandoning it and finding a new footing. That's the fight
yeah,
IQ of it. This
yep,
didn't work. Move on.
yep,
So there's
exactly.
definitely ways of being better adapting, and you should do it in your training. Obviously, not finding
Yep,
out in fight, but
yep.
that comes to good coaching, and then obviously a good mindset out of yourself.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time, and I appreciate it. You're obviously you're a smart kid. Talking to you about all this stuff, and it's it's awesome to see out of just BJJ.
Yeah,
Because again, you don't really get fight IQ per se. I know it's there because you're talking about chess
yeah,
matches all the time, but you don't hear about it. At least we don't talk about it for
yeah,
BJJ, and I think it's the time for it because now you got super fights.
yep,
You got CJJ
yeah,
is getting big. So if you want to do
yeah,
combat jiu-jitsu, that's getting really big right now.
yep,
UFC BJJ is obviously as big as it
yeah,
gets. Um, so it is definitely the time where you should be learning like the fight aspect of BJJ.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Where could we find you? Like, where's the Instagram, anything like that? Any shout outs you want to
Yeah,
give?
Instagram and Facebook, Damian Cruz, D dot Amian underscore Cruz. Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of cool stuff. I'm constantly either training, a coach, um, all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, not just me, but my family. My sister has a fight coming up in in April as well, and so that's super dope. But yeah, man, I mean, Facebook and Instagram, that's about it.
Hey, well, thank you for coming on here. Everybody that's watching this, tune in April 25th to Scrap Super Fights 5,
Yes,
where we
sir.
could watch Damian Cruz go crazy and get his hand raised in the
Hey,
VJJ
I
world, man.
appreciate that.
All right. Well,
All
thank you,
right.
buddy.
Hey, thank you.